On that note, let's bring in the Liberal Senator and former diplomat Dave Sharma. Before we get into that kind of detail, Dave, you know, you've spent a bit of time in the United States working. Just how do you feel in this moment?
Look, I'm shocked, Peter. It's terrible to see this sort of political violence exercised at a rally. It seems like it was an attempted assassination attempt. It seems like former President Trump was quite fortunate to escape with a small amount of harm he did. But it's shocking to see. I mean, I lived in Washington for 3 years. I worked at our embassy there. And I certainly never saw anything like that during my time there. I was there for one of the presidential elections. They should be contested, but not with violence, of course.
Yeah, I've covered 1,000 of these rallies as well, and I know how locked down things get when it comes to Secret Service and when it comes to security sweeps in the hours leading up to these kinds of rallies. But given that this shooter or alleged shooter wasn't so far away, and given what that witness may or may not have seen, was there a lapse in judgment here?
Look, I mean, obviously I don't want to preempt any investigation, of course, but it seems that there was a security failure. I've seen reports that suggest that the shooter was not actually inside the rally, but external to it and from an elevated position. Look, obviously there's a Secret Service detail that not only protects candidates, but also sweeps and clears areas as well. But I mean, we've seen in US political history, if people are sufficiently motivated, they can often avoid or evade these security measures. And we've seen this before in US politics, whether it was the attempted assassination of President Reagan in 1981, the assassination of Bobby Kennedy in 1968, John Fitzgerald Kennedy in 1963. Even with good security measures, if you've got highly motivated individuals who want to do someone harm, they can often find a way.
Yeah, you're right. Now, given the level of political discourse at the moment, Dave, given how inflammatory rhetoric is both by politicians and by members of the public because of social media as well, are you surprised that this has happened?
Look, I am still surprised. I hope and expect that, citizens and my fellow citizens can understand the difference between a contest of ideas and, a fierce debate and disagreement as well, but that a line should never be crossed in liberal democracies into using violence to prosecute your political point or to, win an argument with an adversary. That's at the heart of our society and our system of government and system of the way we run our countries is the idea that conflicts can be had and debates and disagreements can be had, but ultimately they're settled by reference to an election or a court decision or something of that nature. And we respect the decision of the umpire. We don't take matters into our own hands. And so I think what we've seen here is shocking. And, I'm glad to see that people across the US political spectrum have condemned this so quickly and so firmly as they should. And we need to make sure that, we do so here in Australia as well and take a similarly firm line on actions which cross the line from debate and discourse into intimidation and violence.